You're listening to the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure.
Heard Faber and Kirill skated prior today?
Correct.
Just the next kind of step, or what's an update that you can provide?
Yeah, I would say the next step. Loco skated, Spurgeon skated, and Kirill. Bros did not skate today, but the other guys are kind of moving along. But I haven't gotten any feedback on how they did yet or anything today, so I'll get that now.
Is Brody doing any off-ice stuff, or is he still kind of just resting?
No, he's doing off-ice work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But obviously no one was ready to rejoin practice and get ready for a game. Like, they're not at that extent yet.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll probably skate in the morning, possibly. So we'll see how they did today. Like it's.
So they don't need a practice to get into Wednesday's game.
I don't. I mean, some of it I think depends on the player. I think with those particular guys, being veteran guys, that I think that they know. It's very similar to Zook. I think he had. What was it, one practice or a pregame skate, and then he was ready to play. I think Broads' track record has been he's out, and magically shows up in the game. So, I think that they're all making good progress, but I would say right now I probably won't know anything. I wouldn't classify the injuries as day-to-day, but their readiness could be day-to-day, if that makes sense.
TBD tomorrow, maybe then?
Possibly.
I
won't know until tomorrow. Yeah.
All four of them, or just for
no. Yeah. Fabes, no. Brodeen, no. Spurgeon, probably not. I don't think there'll be guys back for tomorrow, but you never know.
But Kirill and Malco are classified in that maybe TBD situation? You don't want to say?
I don't want to say that.
That's fair.
He's been skating for quite a while. It's just more so to see how he responds each day. I mean, he's been skating.
Yeah, I mean, there's a protocol. It's easy skates, then it's hard skates, then it's how do you respond to that? Then you push it a little bit harder. How do you respond to that? Then it's an easier day, then a harder day. So, with all those types of things, with the types of injuries the guys have, that's kind of the progression.
Talk to Kirill at all? What is he telling you?
He's bored out of his mind. Wants to get back, obviously. Very disappointed that he's been out. I mean, he loves the game, loves to compete, but he's going through his process, working hard and doing everything that he needs to do to get himself ready to go. It's just, he wants to play. So, but his body will tell him when he's ready.
Edmonton, the last time you saw them, was one of those games that kind of got away from you. Do you take lessons from that, or is that one you flush and just start anew?
Right when it happened, you kind of flush it, but we still go back as coaches and break it down and look at the different trends and shop and compare that game versus what else went on. But yeah, we addressed it a little bit this morning, and I think we'll get more into Edmonton tomorrow and things like that. Today was a little bit more focused on us.
What did you focus for you today then?
Well, we wanted to have we haven't practiced really had a good practice in a while. So a lot of, work on getting out of our own end, playing fast, playing north, a lot of puck touches, speed, working as a five-man unit up the ice, some offensive zone concepts. Those are more of the things we worked on today.
Are those also the keys to avoiding like what happened last time against Edmonton? I guess, does that fall in line with that, or is it something different that you think needs to happen to avoid what happened last time? Yeah,
I mean those are areas of our game that probably needed a little bit of work coming out of the weekend, but also some tactical components that you mix into the drills are a little bit more tailored to tomorrow.
Like that, low to high drill towards the end. That more so you're trying to use the middle of the ice more often in the offensive zone. I guess because you use the low to high.
Yeah, I'll tell you tomorrow night.
It works. How do you kind of address? You look at some players, especially back on the blue line, who are now being asked to double their minutes. How have you kind of addressed and approached that? And what are the players saying? I mean, it's part of the game. I get that, and they're all professionals. But some instance, John Merrill has gone up from 11 minutes to 21 minutes, which is a huge jump.
Yeah, there's really not much, to be honest, of kind of really how you approach it. It's a necessity that guys are going to play more minutes, and I think for the most part guys have adapted to it. And sometimes it's an adjustment, obviously, with the amount of ice time you play. Sometimes maybe the matchups that you play, but then getting in that game rhythm of sometimes if say you go from 12 minutes to 20 minutes, there's a little bit more recovery time and understanding how you have to manage yourself in the game, and then probably game to game as well, because your workload goes up. But it's just guys have to fill the roles that they're in, and I think for the most part we've done a pretty good job of it as of late.
Even more daunting when you've got Draisaitl and McDavid coming at you tomorrow then?
Yeah, obviously those guys are, I think any I mean, they're two great players, obviously, but I think usually any team you look at, there's usually a line or a few guys that you have to be really conscious of. But obviously, with Draisaitl and McDavid, they did some damage to us the last time we played them. So we're certainly aware of that, and we'll have to make sure that we're diligent in certain areas to hopefully not have that happen again.
I'm sure some D-men that you'd have on those guys are out now with Faber and Brodin and Spurgeon. Like, are you a believer as a coach of matching up lines or having your D pairs out there, right, against some of those matchup lines? Like, are you more a believer of using just your D-men up there, or and not worried about the lines as much, or what
I think it depends on the situation, and as you said, I think it depends on sometimes who you have in your lineup and what your lineup looks like on that particular night. Sometimes it might be you might not feel you have the forward matchup for it, so it might be a D pair or three guys you rotate through. We'll go through that. I think right now it's aware of what our lineup potentially will be, and then tomorrow you get more into do we want to do. Sometimes it's a line, sometimes it is a D, and depending on sometimes how the game is going, you think it might be a D, but you know what, they're not really great tonight. They need some help. Let's try a line versus a line. So it kind of depends on the situation.
What made you want to put Eriksson up with Foligno and Trennan last game?
Just a little bit of a different look. I think that Rossi's line was really going against San Jose. We didn't have much else going on with other guys, so just a slight tweak. But we switched them all back today too. So
it seems like that Foligno and Trennan line is one of those suppressing chances and suppressing offense. Like, what makes that trio usually with them and Freddie work so well?
Well, they all play a responsible two-way game. So I think when they're called upon to defend, I think that they're responsible. They do the job. Their attention to detail is strong, so that allows you to prevent scoring chances against and or get scored on. And I think they complement each other as a three-man unit. So it's been nice to see that even in the beginning of the year, I think Trenny and Moose were on the same line, but there wasn't a ton of chemistry, but now you're starting to see a little bit more togetherness.
You want your guys to share the puck, obviously, but in this situation where Hartman had the other night where he could have passed and just decided to shoot, just how nice is that to see guys take the initiative like that sometimes? It's
great, and that's something that was another point of practice today was, when we get over whether we were working on line rushes or in zone plays, it was one pass and a trigger, more of attack mindset, less on the perimeter, less east-west, let's get to where we're going to be able to be threatening from an offensive perspective. So that was one where he shoots on the 2-on-1, but I'd say all day in practice today there was a heavy emphasis on that style once we got over the offensive blue line.
Yeah. John, what do you like about Marco's play of late?
Well, I think he's been very consistent, great speed, very consistent in his competitiveness, and I think when he plays quick and plays with speed and he's playing at a high compete level, the rest of the game takes care of itself for him because he's smart, he reads offensive plays. I think his execution has been strong, and he's getting himself into the area where you can score.
For Hartman too, he went through that slump, but it seems like he's really kind of got his groove back lately. Huh?
Yeah, it's nice to see. I think he's working through it and obviously getting on the board a little bit here as of late, and not just getting on the board, but the overall game is improving. And obviously it's nice to see when you get your game going the way you need to get it going. Then obviously the production comes, right? So it's good to see, and hopefully he continues to play that style of game.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Good. All right, have a good day.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.